The establishment has done it again. They have finally selected the most unexpected surprise. The next NATO chief is finally here. Hi and welcome to a fresh new episode of The New World Order with me, Atul Mishra. Let's begin. US and European countries have poured billions of dollars in aid and weapons to the war as a bait to instigate Russia. After Sweden and Finland ditched NATO, it is that in the army general. However, the puppet king, consumed by power and fear Over a year has passed since the start of the Russia-Ukraine war, and it has been a struggle for Ukraine, despite NATO's assistance. Unfortunately, the current NATO chief's involvement has been deemed a failure, leading to his termination notice. As Jens Stoltenberg prepares to leave the alliance, the question of who will take over as the next NATO chief looms. With limited options available for the members to elect, it's a critical decision that will impact the future of NATO's involvement in conflicts like the ongoing one in Ukraine. Let's explore these options and see what lies ahead for the alliance. The Americans do not usually put up a candidate, as the US general traditionally serves as a supreme allied commander of Europe. But the White House has a big say in who gets the job. Defense Secretary Ben Wallace is in contention to be first NATO Secretary General from Britain in 20 years. It is understood that Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is formally backing his bid. Estonia Prime Minister Kaja Kallas has also been tipped for the job, but is said to have ruled herself out as she stares down the threat of Russia on her own borders. Canada's Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland, who is half Ukrainian, is also in the running. However, a NATO source suggested that her chances of securing the position are slim, given Canada's failure to meet the alliance-wide target of spending 2% of GDP on defense. But guess who's finally getting elected as the next NATO chief? The wily vixen of EU, Ursula von der Leyen. Yes, according to recent reports, European Union President Ursula von der Leyen is in the running to be the next head of NATO. Ursula von der Leyen, the European Union President, is emerging as a strong contender for the next NATO chief position, a critical role in shaping the future of the alliance. Amidst ongoing challenges and increasing tensions with Russia, her robust transatlantic credentials and experience in defense and security make her an ideal candidate. Hence, analyzing von der Leyen's background, her pro-American stance, and her inherent anti-Russian attitude becomes important, while also examining the controversies surrounding her potential appointment as the head of NATO. In recent years, the NATO alliance has faced several challenges, including the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, which has caused unprecedented political and economic instability in the region and significant loss of lives. The situation has also led to a deterioration in relations between Russia and NATO member states, as well as increased tensions between NATO and Russia. Amidst this challenging context, the election of a new NATO chief is an important event. Current Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg is due to step down later this year after his term was extended due to the war in Ukraine. As a result, von der Leyen is considered one of the frontrunners for the position of NATO chief. Why wouldn't she be a strong candidate? After all, she possesses all the qualities that America seeks in a loyal ally. Von der Leyen is a German politician who has held several high-level positions in the German government, including Minister of Defense and Minister of Family Affairs. She has been a vocal advocate for closer European integration and a stronger European defense policy. A pro-American attitude is also well known, as she has repeatedly emphasized the importance of the transatlantic alliance and the need for Europe to maintain close ties with the US. She also possesses an inherent anti-Russian attitude. This can be traced back to her time as Minister of Defense. During her tenure, she pushed for increased military spending and a stronger NATO presence in Eastern Europe in response to Russia's annexation of Crimea and its military intervention in Ukraine. She also played a key role in Germany's decision to send weapons to Kurdish forces fighting against ISIS in Syria, which was seen as a rebuke to Russia's support for the Syrian government. Besides, Ursula von der Leyen has indeed taken up a radical climate agenda both at the EU and in collaboration with the International Monetary Fund or the IMF. This has been a central part of her policy agenda, reflecting her commitment to tackling the urgent and pressing challenge of climate change. As President of the European Commission, von der Leyen has launched the European Green Deal, which is a comprehensive plan to make the European Union climate neutral by 2050. Thus, she fits as a perfect candidate in the eyes of the American foreign policy establishment, which has put a huge focus on the green agenda. Considering her background, it is not surprising that von der Leyen has emerged as a potential candidate for the role of NATO chief. Her experience in defense and security combined with her robust transatlantic credentials renders her a compelling choice for the position. However, there are also some controversies surrounding her candidacy. One of the main criticisms of von der Leyen is her tenure as Minister of Defense, which was marked by a series of scandals and missteps. These included accusations of nepotism, mismanagement of funds, and a botched attempt to modernize the German military. These issues led to calls for resignation and tarnished her reputation both in Germany and abroad. Another concern is her approach to EU defense integration. While von der Leyen has been a vocal supporter of this idea, she has also faced criticism for being too focused on European defense at the expense of NATO. Some have argued that her vision for a European army could undermine the transatlantic alliance and weaken NATO's role in Europe. Despite these criticisms, von der Leyen remains a strong contender for the NATO chief role. Her experience and credentials make her a qualified candidate, and her pro-American attitude and anti-Russian stance align with NATO's priorities. However, her past controversies and her approach to EU defense integration will need to be carefully considered before any decision is made. The Secretary General of NATO is the head of the alliance and plays a critical role in shaping NATO's policies and strategies. The Secretary General serves as the chief spokesperson for the alliance and represents NATO in various international forums. The position is currently held by Jens Stoltenberg, who has been in office since 2014. The NATO Secretary General plays a crucial role in managing NATO's relationship with Russia. The conflict in Ukraine has led to increased tensions between NATO and Russia, with both sides accusing each other of aggressive actions. The Secretary General plays a key role in maintaining open channels of communications with Russia and in promoting dialogue between NATO and Russia to reduce tensions and prevent the risk of conflicts. In addition to managing relations with Russia, the Secretary General is also responsible for leading NATO's efforts to promote security and stability in the Euro-Atlantic region. This includes overseeing NATO's military operations and missions such as the ongoing Resolute Support Mission in Afghanistan, and ensuring that NATO is able to respond effectively to emerging security threats. The election of a new NATO chief is also important because it provides an opportunity to reflect on the future direction of the alliance. NATO faces a range of challenges including terrorism, cyber threats, and instability in the Middle East and North Africa. The new Secretary General will need to work with the member states to ensure that NATO is able to adapt to these challenges and remain an effective and relevant organization. The election of a new NATO chief is a complex process that involves consultation and negotiation among member states. The Secretary General is appointed by the North Atlantic Council, which is made up of the ambassadors of all NATO member states. The appointment must be made by consensus, which means that all member states must agree on the candidate. There is no formal election, with the 30-strong Western Alliance privately choosing a new leader by consensus. So NATO's problem was a thick-headed man leading it, and hence the Russia-Ukraine war not going anywhere. And who do they replace that thick-headed man with? An establishment woman. The war is only going to get murkier or get tilted very heavily towards Russia, because Putin knows what von der Leyen is.